Real Madrid's locker room suddenly feels like the eye of a storm after a decision that on the surface looked simple. Xabi Alonso left Vinicius Jr. out of the starting 11. It's tempting to treat a benching as a single-sentence story, player benched, player angry, but the truth is far more strategic and far more dangerous for the balance of power at the club. When Luis Figo, someone whose name still echoes through Santiago Bernabeu lore, steps forward to publicly back the coach and frame the choice as tactical rather than punitive, you don't have a dressing room spat, you have a calculated message, and messages change seasons. This wasn't just about one match, it was a signal aimed at opponents, at the squad, and perhaps most importantly, at the narrative surrounding who Real Madrid wants to be in the months ahead. A team that prioritizes structure and adaptability over constant flair, even if that flair is the flashiest player on the pitch. So what does this benching actually mean? At its heart is a coach's dilemma. How do you reconcile the unpredictable brilliance of a player who can win games alone with the demand for coherent, repeatable tactical performance? Alonso's choice suggests a preference for the latter at crucial moments, a willingness to sacrifice immediate star power for a game plan he believes increases the team's odds. That kind of approach can be liberating for some players and suffocating for others. For Vinicius, a man whose identity on the pitch is built on rhythm, one-on-one dominance, and emotionally charged moments, being benched strips some of the narrative momentum that feeds individual awards and global reputation. In the world of Ballon d'Or voting, story matters. Minutes, moments, and tournaments matter. A high-profile bench, especially if repeated, chips away at both exposure and the uninterrupted form voters love to reward. Luis Figo's intervention matters for another reason. It frames the story in a way that removes some of the moral panic. He's saying this is chess, not a character assassination. That doesn't make the reaction any less volatile. Fans hunger for drama and identity, but it reframes the fallout as managerial conviction rather than interpersonal conflict. At the same time, the spectre of Kylian Mbappé lingers in the background. When pundits and legends compare Mbappé to the explosive Ronaldo Nazario, they're not just talking about goals. They're talking about a speed and decisiveness that forces whole teams to reorganize. Mbappe's presence in the footballing conversation raises the bar for what a modern superstar must offer: consistency, versatility, and an ability to tilt high-stakes games. That shadow shifts expectations for Vinicius. No longer is brilliance enough on its own. When a young defender begins to show the command and composure expected at the Bernabeu, the club gains leverage, not only on the pitch but in transfer strategy and long-term identity. Huijsen's rise says Real can cultivate internal solutions rather than simply buying headlines. That has ripple effects. Coaches can be bolder with rotation, boards can reframe recruitment priorities, and youth prospects feel emboldened to challenge veterans. The result is a reshaped pecking order where merit and fit sometimes trump star wattage. So where does this leave supporters who feel personally affronted when a fan favourite sits? In football, feelings move fast and narratives move faster. Some fans will cry betrayal, others will back a coach willing to make tough calls. The real consequence plays out over several matches. Will the benching be an isolated tactical tweak, or will it become a pattern that recalibrates how minutes are distributed across the season? If it's the former, the moment becomes a blip in a larger story of rotational depth. If it's the latter, we are watching the beginnings of a philosophical reset, a team that places system over star, long-term goals over short-term spectacle. For Vinicius, for Mbappé watchers, and for Huijsen's proponents, the next weeks are a referendum. How the player, the manager, and the club handle communication, minutes and results will tell us a lot about where Real Madrid is headed. Toward a new tactical maturity, back into old flair first habits, or into a hybrid approach that tries to fuse both worlds. What's certain is this: one bench has already sparked conversations that transcend a single game. It's about power, patience, recalibration, and reputation. And as the season unfolds, that quiet-looking decision could be revealed as either a masterstroke that steadies Madrid's ship or the opening move in a saga that forces bigger changes at the club. The fans will argue, the pundits will weigh in, and the pitch will render its verdict. But tonight, every Madridista should be asking the same question: what do we want Real to be when the dust settles?